Hey, happy to see you, George, my brother.
No more brothers, Diego.
Why do you say that? Huh? You heard me, George. Of course we are brothers.
You fucked me.
I did not.
Yeah, you did. You went behind my back, you cut me out, you fucked me.
Me? No. Never, George. Never. Mm-mm.
I talked to Derek.
Well, maybe you're right. Maybe I did betray you a little bit. Yeah, I stole your California connection. So what? Who introduced you to Pablo Escobar? Huh? Me. Who introduced you to your fucking Colombian wife? Me. Who protects you when my friend Cesar Rosa wanted to slice your fucking throat out? Huh? Me. Who made you make millions and millions of dollars? Me. And what do I get in return? This. Accusations. I have always given you everything, George. Always. But that is over now. Yeah. You know, this is my operation, my dream. So go home. Go back home. Go home. Go back to your stupid little life. Go back and sell half grams to your fucking relatives for all I care. Because you're out. Déjalo. Because you're out. And don't be so emotional, George. We are brothers. We are brothers. Llévense a este come mierda.
Next time it's fucking loaded.
Bye. 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 Bye.
Cinema 9 podcast with your hosts Eric Brandstrom, Michael Govier, and Travis Roy. Coming to a speaker near you right now.
Guess who it is? It's your favorite film buddies, the Cinema 9 Podcast, back for the latest episode. Thursday evening, as always, we're going to talk about Blow. Does it hold up? That's what we do every week on this damn show. 2001 film, selected by Eric Brandstrom. One of the yes, Eric Brandstrom is huffing. He's hoovering. That's how you do it. Well done. Oh. Eric Branch, Travis Roy, Michael Govier, all here live. Don't forget cinema9pod at protonmail.com, and we would love a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts if you like the show. It only helps us grow and learn from our mistakes. The more we grow, the better we get. That's a fact. Right, Travis?
I don't know. It sounds like some made-up bullshit to me.
Yeah.
Fuck me running.
Bobcat Goldthwait bullshit? Yeah, probably.
Oh, well, too bad he's only in one scene. What a loss for that film that he's just in. It's one great scene, but it's still one scene.
He's fantastic. I mean, who doesn't love this line?
Fuck me running.
I can listen to it all day.
All right. It's a great quote.
It is.
Can't wait
Most
to talk
people
about.
prefer I can't feel my face, but I like fuck,
Fuck me running.
it's just a stupid line.
Oh, I've
I
used
told
it,
you
used it
about
for
my
years.
encounter with Bobcat Goldthwait in a Chicago, Illinois bathroom, right?
Just kind of like a Paul
regale
Rubens,
us.
Paul Rubens kind of thing.
No, this is an actual fan encounter where I met him, and it was unbelievable.
What happened?
What unbelievable thing took place between you and Bobcat in this bathroom?
Yeah.
I said,
dying
hi,
to know.
Bobcat. I loved Willow Creek. And he said, thanks, man. Shook my hand. That was it.
Oh, well, I believe that.
It didn't have to be
That was
weird.
great. No, it's not weird.
It
Willow
didn't have
Creek-
to be like all.
Yeah, he hasn't talked like that in like 20, 30 years.
Yeah, he's not a fan of that.
Yeah. But yeah, I watched Willow Creek last week, actually. It wasn't bad.
Oh,
What did you have? A few drinks this morning? Huh? I think you did, didn't you?
Mike Starr. I didn't know that my entire life until like 2 years ago. The clown.
Mike Starr. Yeah. All right.
what? That's Mike Starr?
No
Yeah,
shit.
you didn't know that? What are you,
I
Mother
didn't know
Teresa?
that.
You never touch the stuff?
Oh, yeah. I knew that.
Oh, I did not know
Starr.
that. I'm actually genuinely impressed by that because I was just talking about Mike Starr on the Is It Safe pod for some reason last week, and we were talking about him. Actually, last night we talked about it. No, on the baseball pod because we had this great guest on who loved movies, and Deary was talking about how great the Cinema 9 pod is, and so we started talking about Mike Starr.
Naturally. Who
Yeah.
doesn't love Mike Starr? Who doesn't want to listen to a podcast where we discuss the work of Mike Starr? I mean, he's
Get in
more
your
than Dumb and
mouse.
Dumber.
And get out of here.
Actually, it was because that's what it was. Someone brought up what was your favorite like comfort movie, the movie you just go to zone out, and he said Dumb and Dumber, and that's what alluded to the conversation. Well done, Travis.
All right. Well, my favorite
like
Mike
you were
Starr
there.
performance is Miller's Crossing, personally. So cheers to Mike Starr.
Goodfellas.
Ed Wood. No one wants to see this
Ooh.
piece of shit.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I've never seen Ed Wood actually, so
Whoa.
yeah, it just wasn't it. I mean, it got a lot of hubbub, and people said, "Yeah, woohoo, yippee!" Martin Landau won an Academy Award, which is bullshit because Samuel L. Jackson should have won, but
Speechless.
Dude, you should watch this fucking movie before you sit here and judge it. It's a pretty great
Talk
movie.
about
Oh,
my top
oh, I
five
don't think
favorite
it's a
movies
bad-
of all time.
it's one of your top 5 favorite
Yeah,
movies.
easily.
It always has been. He's talked it up for years. I mean, that's
He has. He loves Burton at his height.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Burton
And
and
Ed
Depp.
Wood's a real guy. Johnny Depp's a real
he's
guy.
a real guy. This is all correct.
These are real people, and Johnny Depp's going to be a part of the Blow conversation today.
Yeah, George
It's all
Young was a real
happening.
guy.
Check him out. There he is.
Yeah, R.I.P. George Young. Did you know that he had recently died when you
No.
chose this last week? I
No,
think he died
pure
within days.
coincidence. It was a
What?
pure
No.
100%
Bullshit.
disco grade coincidence.
You're shitting me.
I'm dead serious.
Seems
Popped in there.
fortuitous.
It is fortuitous.
Well, for those of you that check out our Cinema 9 Pod Twitter feed, I just had to mention every week Travis puts in another dumb picture that is mentioned randomly at random. It could be anything from anything in the podcast.
We've never discussed this before, on camera or off. Like I've been doing this every week, and you've never brought it up.
It's a very dedicated effort, and this week's picture is Kiefer Sutherland from Freeway, which is just really horrifying. So
Last week, yeah.
really
I'll
stood
change
out
it
to me.
tomorrow. I'm sure.
I can't wait. Who knows? Who knows what it'll be?
It is. It's always something that we randomly mention,
It is a reference from each episode. That is true. So.
and it's never like a good movie. It's never like, oh look, there's I don't know, someone awesome. No, it's always like some bozo picture.
Why would it be? I mean, can't keep a good man down. Why stop a good thing in his tracks? So that sounds great to me. So the Twitter feed's always fun. You can interact with us. There's a Facebook page. There's the Instagram page. I mean, Travis is doing things. Travis, how are you, though? You didn't really tell us officially. You have to tell us how you are every week. It's a prerequisite of the show.
Fucking tired of running this Instagram account. I'm like, oh man, like it's gotten like every other day, like maybe I'm like, it's like, to do a good post, it could take 20-30 minutes to get all that, research and all that. So I'm like a little tired of that. But for those of you listening, check us out on Facebook. Even if this is a future episode, we do every so often have a little contest where we where people that follow us on Facebook can play along and like do a process of selection to help us pick which movie we're going to talk about. And we're doing that right now. So follow us on Facebook if you're not already following us on Facebook. And I'm not going to
running.
don't do a lot of work over there, but follow us
Nobody
if
does.
you want to play the game.
Play the game, Harding.
Play the game, Harding.
There's a lot of great movies in the running for a couple weeks from now, Michael. Let It Ride, Big, The Burbs, some real classic. Rain Man. I'm excited to see how this turns out.
Wow. That's going to be interesting. I'm excited to hear what you guys have been watching. So why don't we get into our quarantine viewing picks, Travis? I got to know what you've been diving into. We still stuck in the 70s?
Why are we only talking about me? How are you guys doing?
Oh, well, Eric doesn't really tell us that. You're the one who always tells us. Eric will say some nonsense about something, and then I'll say, hey, yeah, great. This is a good show. I think that's basically the routine, isn't it?
Is that true, Eric? Do you want to talk about how you're doing?
Eric, please.
Blazing past you?
I was going to ask you, Travis, if that victim came back to your house that was almost murdered. Did we kind of glossed over?
I don't know that he was a victim or not, but I'll tell you this. I mowed my lawn this morning, and I was uninterrupted.
Fantastic news.
Does that spell his death? I don't know. He may have just been sleeping in. I did it really early in the morning.
I have a feeling you won't see that guy again. These the interactions, they come and go, and they last forever, but you don't always get a repeat viewing. So cherish what you had.
They last forever? Is this like a time as a flat circle thing? What the fuck are you talking about?
Oh, shit. Flat
These
Earther.
interactions last forever.
Roscoe Lincoln.
Actually, side note, in the First Day Podcast book club, which we do every Monday night for the First Day Podcast, we did Matthew McConaughey's Green Lights. We just finished it, and I actually really enjoyed it. So I want to. He is an actor, and he talks about his movie career in it, but he also has thoughts and opinions and views about his life, of course, because he pontificates as he's prone to do. But it's actually not like self-involved and douchey. It's really great to listen to as an audiobook too, because he does it and he's great. You know, it's perfect.
Did he record the audio like while he was driving a Lincoln around, just like talking out loud to himself?
There it is. That joke writes itself.
Playing a bongo, reaching out, hitting a bongo every now and then. I will tell you this. I love him.
He mentions the bongo story and he talks about it in great detail. So it's a lot of fun. He like goes into what actually happened, and it's awesome. Fantastic. And he does not deny the Lincoln experience either. He's like, yeah, that happened. I made money.
I don't judge him for making money. I don't judge him for smoking weed and playing bongos in his naked in his own yard. That's who fucking cares. I love McConaughey. I'm never gonna read that book, but I love him and I love weed.
Is the reconnaissance over? I mean, that was one of the great stretches of all time.
Yeah, it's over.
Yeah, I'd say we kind of fizzled out with what was that boat movie he did that we all turned off?
Beach
the Army
Bomb?
Corps one. Yeah. Yeah, I would say that's right about with the death knell of that
and
shit.
Serenity. Did you guys see Serenity? That was trash too. So.
Serenity.
From what I understand, the murderer turned out to be a shark.
It's not far off from the truth. Yeah, not far. It doesn't matter. That movie sucks. I doubt you would like it. It came out in 2019. It was right the same year as The Beach Bum, which was terrible. I watched The Beach Bum. It's fucking awful.
Wasn't this like the Firefox or Firefly movie, Serenity, or like it's a sci-fi thing? I'm reaching on a sci-fi thing. I clearly know very little about.
Firefly. Yeah.
You don't even remember, but it had Matthew McConaughey and Anne Hathaway. There's like legit actors in it, but nobody cares. And this only came out 2 years ago. So that point is made really by the fact that nobody really even went right over everybody's head. But yes, the reconnaissance is over because it was like a period of time. It was. Yeah, it was a moment.
But all moments last forever is the whole point. So
they do. Well, yes, that's true. But but just like the guy who's no longer in your front yard talking to you, that moment is over, but it does last in your mind and can last in our hearts forever.
The reconnaissance wasn't real. We only think that it was.
I think that was very real. There was a hot moment there where he was doing some good shit.
Absolutely.
Mud and True Detective and
Russ Cole,
Killer Joe, and he was doing some really great stuff.
Interstellar,
Dallas Buyers Club is fantastic. Interstellar, yeah, I mean, he had a real.
That's
good
the
run
apex.
There.
I believe now he's a 2D Doritos character, if I'm remembering this right from the headlines.
What?
Yeah,
it's probably true.
What does this even mean? Are we speaking English right now?
It's a Super Bowl commercial. He's like 2D, like walking around selling Doritos.
Yeah. It was dumb. It was true though. That did happen. He's not lying, and he's not mistaking because McConaughey has that fun factor. People still love him, even though he had that renaissance, the reconnaissance, which was intentional, which he talks about in the book too. It's so cool. He purposely said, "Let's get out of the romantic comedy thing," and actually, he He says this in the book. $14 million he turned down for a month shoot. $14 million on a stupid ass rom-com for a month's worth of work.
Well,
That's
if
what
he'd
he
done
said.
that shit, maybe he wouldn't be doing Doritos commercials right now.
Michael, come on now. Well, you talk about the reconnaissance, but in my personal opinion, in 96, you get A Time to Kill. He's fucking great in it. And Contact from 97, I fucking love Contact, and he was fucking fantastic in it in a serious role. He's always been a great dramatic actor.
Yeah, but he's had ebbs and flows, I would say, personally.
That was like the beginning. Yeah, you know, he comes on the
Conversations
scene.
About One Thing, also fantastic.
Yeah. Lone Star.
Oh, yeah, classic. Yeah, John Sayles, right?
Well, let's get into it, though. We're talking movies, so let's hear it. Travis, tell us what you've been watching. All right, by the way, Eric, are you okay, though? Did you get to express yourself? Or?
Are you okay?
Doing great. Thank you very much from Griffith, Indiana. Let's just keep it going.
Fuck me running.
So I didn't have a great week for watching movies. This is my last week of vacation, and so I had like all this time to watch extra movies, and most of them weren't very good. I just had a bad run here. I did, man. I even turned one or two off, but thanks to Steve Paulo, good guest host on recently, he recommended Stephanie from 2017. Did you watch it, Eric? Oh, no. Okay. He's shaking his head for those that are not watching.
Shaking your head down.
Yeah, it was definitely worth catching. It's a pretty strong film. Differently done kind of horror movie. I liked it. I watched a Medea family reunion, guys.
You did it? Yeah,
first Medea film of the podcast.
I sent you guys a pic of me and Medea, and the main thing I learned from it is that I learned two things. One is it's pronounced Medea, not Medea, and two is like it's heavy drama. I'm not kidding. It's fucking heavy domestic abuse drama, like serious shit. And then fucking Big Mama's house blows in every now and then with some folksy witticisms. It's so weird. It was so fucking weird.
Running.
Fuck me running.
What is Medea? Is it like supposed to be like an old grandma that's sassy, or is it like?
Yeah, like I mean, like it's in the classic kind of Eddie Murphy tradition. You have like one comedic actor playing multiple roles, and here you have Tyler Perry playing like himself, who's like not like himself, but like like he's not wearing costume, mask and shit. He's got some other name as like the son of Medea and the father, who he also plays the father, and he plays Medea, and that's it. He just plays them three.
Wow, that's I didn't know that. I did not know that.
I would not recommend it, but I felt I felt wiser for the experience.
I've been thinking about that, Travis, real quickly. To that point, we recommend movies too, but I also think in this segment we also recommend movies you should probably avoid, which I think is just as important. I think it's useful. So in that case, don't bother watching Those Who Wish Me Dead. Also starring Tyler Perry in the weirdest little cameo, that most unnecessary cameo I can think of. I love Taylor Sheridan, who's been doing great stuff. I was kind of excited for this movie. But like this was extremely predictable and tedious. Like it was just kind of slow. It wasn't terrible, but like I mean, I would not recommend it. I watched another one called It Cuts Deep, a black comedy from last year, one of the worst movies I've seen in a while. I watched Ingrid Goes West from 2017. I fucking hated it. I hated it so much. Didn't have a lot of good luck. Okay, let me tell you some movies I did watch that were good. I watched Fright Night for like the millionth time. At Aaron Chudpud Worley's recommendation, I watched Psycho Gorman, which I don't particularly. I mean, I like the movie, but I don't particularly like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. But if you like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, imagine Mighty Morphin Power Rangers like on acid with a lot more gore, and you have Psycho Gorman. Yeah, I watched The Heartbreak Kid and didn't care for it. The original Heartbreak Kid, I felt really bad because like I wanted to like Charles Grodin, but I just didn't really care for it. But I did watch this documentary. Have you guys seen this documentary called Character, like Care bullet point bullet point Ter from 2009? You guys would both love it. It's streaming for free on Vudu.
I'm there.
It is Dabney Coleman kind of bumbling around, talking to like his old buddies, having like kind of like maybe a little bit drunken but very familiar conversations with some of his best friends, like Sidney Pollack right before he died, and Peter Falk shortly before he died, and Harry Dean Stanton, and there's someone else big too who I'm forgetting right now. But it's just like I forget the other person. Oh, Charles Grodin. Fuck yeah, and Charles Grodin. So it's like these really like serious but like fun conversations about the craft and about their history and about like when they went to school, like acting school and stuff. It was really cool. If you like acting and actors and stuff, I definitely would recommend Character. And you know what really surprised me this week was Greenland from 2020. I was watching. Did you watch it too?
I heard it's good.
You know, I was bashing Knowing recently for being like, you know, the classic people getting destroyed kind of movie. And this is like a disaster movie, but like, you know, kind of like Deep Impact, only with a lot better budget probably, or like newer special effects. And this movie had a real heart to it. Like it was not just fucking stupid, like the explosions. It was like there was like a genuine like heart to the story. Like I was emotionally involved in the characters and what they were doing. And on top of that, like it was extremely, I felt like, I mean, like I know there was huge scientific plot holes in this movie. Like I'm aware of that, but like in terms of how it was presented, they did a pretty good job of making it feel like us, like going from like, oh, hey, like there might be a meteor passing by soon. And like slowly it like escalates and becomes more and more of a reality that everyone's dealing with. And then it's like, hey, everything's fucking, the whole world's about to collapse. And we got to deal with this. You know, I like these kind of movies when they're done well, like Seeking a Friend for the End of the World. So I would definitely recommend Greenland. It was actually pretty good. I watched a bunch of others, but I can't mention them all.
Damn, you said it was a slow movie week or just a bad movie week?
The bad week. Johnny Depp, when he was good. You guys talking 21 Dump Street and Nightmare on Elm Street? All the Depp Streets. No, Russell, we'll probably talk about Blow, but yeah, we could probably mention his career.
21 Dump Street.
21.
I will say
love
this.
Both of them.
I was reading recently, because, you know, today in preparation for the podcast, an interview with Carl Young. I keep wanting to call him Carl Young. Big difference. George Young. He didn't want Depp to play him because he's like, he played a fucking narc on 21 Jump Street, and I don't want a narc playing me. And he also was like, he played an androgynous barber in Edward Scissorhands, and so he was slow to come on board.
That's
a direct quote. Androgynous barber.
Fuck this guy. Fuck George Young. Here he is right behind me. Fuck that guy. Fuck you. Eric Brandstrom, tell us where you been. Take us into your cinema journey this week.
Michael and Travis, it's the last week of school for me too. So I've been like doing a lot of grading and a lot of schoolwork. So it's been a little bit of a slow week, but that hasn't stopped me from watching some films. I checked back in with Galaxy Quest. It's been since it came out. I remember loving this. So when it was released, so fresh and funny. It's all right. It's still got a couple of chuckles out of me. I'm not sure when the last time you saw it is, but I don't know. That varnish may have worn off a little bit. Sam Rockwell's still very funny in it, but I'm watching it. I'm looking at Sigourney Weaver. I'm like, you know what? This is a really unique actress here. I'm going through the filmography. And it dawns on me. And if you thought my admission that I'd never seen Die Hard was bad, this is going to be worse. I'd never seen Aliens, the Jim Cameron sequel to Alien.
Well, you should watch it.
Yeah, I watched it, and like just like I said about Die Hard, it was fucking unbelievable. I couldn't believe what I was watching and how I had missed it for so many. It was like not knowing like my father my whole life. Like that was like I missed this for like 35 years. It was one of the best movies I've ever seen in my entire life. So I'm really happy that I finally saw that. It was so good.
Running.
What's the is it Vasquez? What's the Latina lady's name?
I think that's it. Yeah.
Obviously, I'm a confused individual because growing up, I had like the hardest of hardcore crushes on Vasquez. I just thought she was the most beautiful woman ever. I don't know where. Didn't pan out for me. We never got together.
I'm so sorry.
Didn't work out.
Tragic, so. I never seen it, so I mean, I don't do that shit either. So I wasn't that motivated. I mean, there's a line for me with sci-fi, I suppose. So you know, Star Wars is legendary. That's easy. But I saw Alien, of course. I've seen Alien, but I've never seen any of the rest of the franchise.
I mean, as far as sequels goes, I'd say it's one of the best sequels. Like, I mean, like
wow.
it's fantastic. I mean, Alien 1 is fucking amazing. Aliens is it's fantastic. I mean, it's so good.
There's no reason for me not to watch it. I liked Alien.
So it's one of the best action. One of the best action movies from the era.
Yeah, it's like the best like team on a mission like movie I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh yeah, it's good for that.
So you know, speaking of like space and missions, I checked in with High Life, this movie from a few years ago, Claire Denis film, Robert Pattinson. I'm like, this has all the elements I'm looking for. Slow burn, like independent. Bob Patterson. It's fucking so boring. I turned it off. I mean, there's boring, and then there's like just like nothing is happening. Like, why is this a movie? Like, terrible.
I heard bad things.
Yeah.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Sorry to hear that.
Russell Withers checking back in. That chick is a Jim Cameron favorite. That chick is a Jim Cameron favorite, in case you did not know. She's also the woman who kills John's foster parents. Oh, Vasquez. Yeah, that's the foster mom.
Yeah, okay. She was in something else that we talked about recently on the show too. I feel like
she's probably still alive. I'll guess that
she is alive and well. She was also in Near Dark, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. She's been working.
Yeah, she plays the maid. She plays the maid.
Jeanette Goldstein.
That sounds right.
I fear nothing.
Good call, Russell. So, you know, I'd never seen the Larry Sanders Show, and I decided to check in with that. I remember hearing about it all throughout the 90s. Like, there's nothing like that before, like a single camera sitcom, and, you know, little dated. I don't know when the last time you guys checked in, but a little dated.
Kidding me? It's one of my favorite shows of all time, and I watch it often.
Yeah. So this is like Mike's favorite show ever. So
it's true. It's up there. I'm a huge fan, and finding it on DVD in the 2000s was very hard for a while, but now it's been streaming and it's much easier to access.
Have you thought about getting a picture of Gary Shandling's lips like tattooed on your body?
That'd be awesome.
I mean, you're a big fan. Just get like his lips tattooed on you.
Oh shit! Look who's here! Hey, it's our favorite yeller. It's our favorite, most passionate guest host /
Luke Horvath fan.
Chime in, Luke. Buddy. Oh shit! I don't know what that means, but thank you.
Were you attracted to Vasquez?
I bet he was. But so it's there's no Curb Your Enthusiasm without Larry Sanders. I will say
it's true. Yeah, it's true. Other than that, I fell back into the rabbit hole. I watched like 10 pro wrestling documentaries.
Which ones are left?
Fucked. I just ate all of them. Iron Sheik.
Which ones are left?
So many. It's not even funny. It's just I don't know what to do. I'm seriously thinking about seeking help. I can't stop.
It's okay if you enjoy it. Don't take it that far. Okay, don't take it that far.
Really,
just enjoy it. Just enjoy it.
That's it. What about what do you got?
Oh man, I am loving going deep into this like 80s indies. It's great, I kind of feel like the Falcon and the Snowman, but maybe not necessarily an indie, but it's not a mainstream, big hit either. So it's a weird area. Maybe it's like lesser known 80s films that have some legitimate people who go on to things. So the first one I'd never seen, and Luke already made fun of me on the Is It Safe Pod the other day. He's like, "Oh, everyone knows that." I'm like, "Okay, well, I'd never seen it." It's called River's Edge. I never saw this. And this is a fantastic film.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to bring this to the show so many times. I just kept forgetting about it.
Kevin Bacon is a villain, I believe, right?
This is a
Glover in. Oh my god, it's so fucking good.
I'm thinking of
Keanu
Reeves, Crispin Glover.
Oh, I've never seen this. I was thinking of a River Wild or something.
Daniel Roebuck.
Yeah, you were River Wild. That's exactly what you were thinking.
Yeah,
Kevin Bacon, Meryl Streep.
Yeah, I've never seen this. I should watch it, huh?
Oh man, I thought it was incredible. It was a really good film. It's loaded with youngsters. Obviously it's like one of Keanu's first roles. It's about high school, but it's so honestly well done. And I'll just say this, in the way that it portrays how people act differently in front of different people in real life. You don't see that in movies very often, but people do change their demeanors depending on who's in front of them. And it's just really good. Daniel Roebuck, the guy who you would know The Fugitive. I think Late Shift. Yeah, I think from The Fugitive. He's one of the cronies that are trying to hunt down fucking Richard. So it's a great movie. I really want to strongly recommend it. River's Edge. I don't know if this guy Tim Hunter, who directed it, I don't know if he went on to much other stuff, but this is worth it. I think it pissed me off and it made me feel things. So good job, River's Edge. And then I got to get the list. Sorry. Always have my list, Travis. That's right.
It's a good man.
Important. I had House of Games. I never saw House of Games, David Mamet's earlier work, which is a 1987 film written and directed by Mr. Mamet, and it's in the Criterion Collection. So I was like, well, people must respect this film. Joe Mantegna, really early Joe Mantegna, and the lead woman is super short-haired, and I recognized her face, but I could not pinpoint her in
Rebecca
anything.
Pigeon.
No, not Rebecca Pigeon.
I love Rebecca Pigeon.
Lindsay Krause. Does that ring a bell for anybody?
Yeah, I think we went to high school with her, right?
Yeah, no, I think that was a different Krause. If you Google her face, you'd be like, oh yeah, that lady. So that's who she's like the lead in it, and it's really good.
I'll Google her face. Google.
Strongly recommended. Excellent. And of course, Ricky Jay's in it. So you got to have some Ricky Jay if you're going to have a Mammoth movie. So I want to recommend House of Games. Excellent film. Really not what I expected at all. But it is so Mammoth in a lot of ways. I'll just say that. But I want to recommend it. I watched Greedy, a 1994 film with Michael J. Fox, Phil Hartman, Ed Begley Jr., and of course, old man Kirk Douglas. This is a stupid ass movie.
Greedy.
It's kind of, I remember seeing it.
Movie.
Oh yeah, I remember. I went back to watch it because I remember being a kid like, this is dumb. Everyone's greedy. It's annoying. Of course, it's just like so. This family is so blatantly obsessed with the greed that it's not even trying to hide it. Like it's just dumb.
A bad Knives Out.
Yeah. Oh, horrendous. They're not even trying to kill him. They're just waiting for him to die. That's the worst part. It's like, just die, please. But they won't do anything about it. This movie sucks. Don't go back and watch Greedy. But I'm going to recommend Greed, which is how I ended up watching Greedy, strangely enough. Greedy is a Michael Winterbottom film starring Steve Coogan from 2019. And it gets shit on. It's got a 5.5 rating on IMDb. But I thought that's bogus. In fact, it's a little bit more prescient now. It's obviously made during the Trump era. It's about a guy who's super rich and he's a scumbag. So there's a whole message about the world we live in and how rich guys are scumbags, which we already know. But then he's trying to make a point about the garment industry specifically and how people are still being exploited. It's a drama. It's not a documentary at all, but it's classic Winterbottom. It's got that certain style of humor, and it's also.
I love this face. This picture. The cover box is pretty great. I haven't seen the movie yet, but the cover box really grabbed me. Just
that picture,
an orange Steve Coogan.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, I really think it's like it's like Trump. It's almost like Trump, but it's not quite. But it's like a British Trump because they're in Britain, and that picture is dumb as fuck too. So it kind of turned me off from the movie. But I'm glad I got around to finally watching it because it's not that dumb.
Close out a Greed trilogy.
I did not.
Greediest.
Oh shit! Is there Greediest?
Greedier.
That would have been awesome. I would have watched that, but I did not get the chance to do that. I watched a movie that I actually was thinking about recommending, but then I decided just to watch it, and I realized I made the right choice because I should never recommend this movie to watch. It doesn't hold up. Men of Honor. It's got fucking Robert De Niro and Cuba Gooding Jr. And it's about a guy, an amazing guy. Carl Brashear is the first African-American master diver. Like, it's a really great story about his actual life. His life is more compelling than this movie because it's so fucking... Where's Luke? Where's Steve? Formulaic. This is like... Here's how Hollywood can take racism and stories of oppression and turn them into formulas. And that's what they do with this movie, unfortunately. And it's a damn shame because you got some great acting. You got Charlize Theron and Robert De Niro. But that's pretty much it. It's not good. I wouldn't recommend it. I don't know if you guys ever saw it recently.
I saw it when it came out, and it left no impression on me.
Oh, see? And that's what I'm talking about. It should have made an impression. Speaking of reconnaissance, I went back to the beginning. I never saw Time to Kill, and I finally watched it. So,
oh shit,
it's it's not as formulaic as Men of Honor, but it is about racism, and it's pretty hardcore. It's a little not campy. Sometimes it's a little over the top, but I think it was pretty solid. I want to recommend it if you never saw it. It's pretty well done.
That gave America the first Samuel L. Jackson quote that people could just walk around yelling. Yeah, I'm glad they're dead. I hope they burn in hell. That was the first time because turned out to be a whole career if there's people shouting his stuff. But
Pulp Fiction did come out before that, but yeah,
did it?
94, yeah.
Oh, I thought Time to Kill was first. When
but
was
it's definitely a great line. 96.
96.
Oh, I thought it was a lot earlier than that. All right, I take it back. I'm not a film historian.
See, but at least you come clean. That's what you get on the show. Genuine honesty, folks. And that was McConaughey's first lead role, so that's true. which led me to watch Angels in the Outfield. I'd never seen this movie before. It's a stupid ass Disney movie. I never saw it as a kid. It just came out at a point where I love baseball. Yes, dude. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Christopher Lloyd, Matthew McConaughey, Adrian Brody. I mean, it's like there's Oscar winners on this. It's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. It's dumb as fuck. But I actually enjoyed it. It was fun.
Why are the Angels in the outfield? Because I've never seen this film. Like, what
that's the other part.
Why are they there?
Because fucking Dermot Mulrooney is Joseph Gordon-Levitt's father, but their mother died. So he puts him in a foster care home, even though he's a dad who's alive, and admits to his son directly. He's like, I got to go for a while, man. But if the Angels win the pennant, then I'll come back. So he wishes for the Angels to win, and the Angels come in. Christopher Lloyd comes in. It's amazing.
Should have wished for a good father.
Yeah, well, he's a young child, he doesn't always know that. And then real quickly, I really wanted to talk about this with you guys. I went back and watched Batman Forever and Batman and Robin. I'm like, it's been a long time. I just had to make sure. And it's fucking shit. It is such shit. And Batman and Robin is egregious as fuck. Batman Forever is a little less, but it's so fucking bad. Arnold, why? Everything you've read about it, all the articles are fair, totally worthwhile. This is a piece of shit movie to the maximum extreme. Batman and Robin is not worth it. There's no redeeming quality at all.
I can give you a redeeming quality because I've been thinking about this a lot recently. It's not boring. All the work that was put into it, I mean, you could do a lot worse. It's not dull. I mean, it's watchable as far as just fucking throwing something on.
It's the faintest praise I've ever heard.
Hey, it's something. And this is critically lambasted universally. I'll watch it. If it's on, I'll sit there and fucking watch it.
If you like it apart. Moving images and sounds, turn it on.
Yeah.
Maybe your dog will like it.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey! It's something. Batman and Robin.
It's not 90 minutes long anyway.
Oh, I wish it was. God.
Is it longer? Is it 2 hours?
Yeah. It's closer to 2, I believe. Yeah. It's a slog from hell. And it's terrible. Quickly, I watched so many movies. So Problem Child 1 and 2, I went back to back. I knocked them both out. And I laughed my ass off. John Ritter is fantastic in both movies. He really is. It's perfect for him. Yes. God, he's so fucking good. And Jack Warden, R.I.P. as well. Jack Warden and John Ritter is enough to get me through the door, and I'm happy that I watched both films, and I don't regret either one of them. That kid was good. That kid was rock solid.
Michael Oliveri. Yeah, whatever happened.
Yeah, and I saw Slumdog Millionaire for the first time. I never saw Slumdog Millionaire, and that was a fucking train. It was tough. It was tough to get through, man. There was some brutal scenes in that movie that I was actually eating, and a particular scene came on early on in the film, and I was like, oh, fuck! I couldn't handle it. I had to look away and fast forward it. Not because I wanted to, but because I just couldn't. I was eating, and it was gross. It was really, I know it wasn't real poop, but it was sick. It really bummed me out, and I was
You don't want to look at even fake poop while you're eating food. I mean, that's just...
It depends on how it's done, but it was so authentic. The scenery and where they shot. They shot in India and they shot in real slums from based on what I saw and what I heard.
There was real poop somewhere in that. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, it was so authentic, even though the poop was fake, that it freaked me out. So, yes. And then lastly, I watched, I never saw this. I finally saw Venom. And with Venom 2 coming out soon, I wanted to make sure I got in. And you're shaking your head. You're shaking your head, Travis.
Why? I thought it was trash.
Trash.
Out. Yeah, I thought it was.
I finally saw Venom. You've been wanting to.
I mean, I just I hear that if you aren't really a Venom fan of the comic, then you might like it more. But to me, and I'm not a huge diehard Venom fan. I'm vaguely, I like it. I like him, but it was so far afield from the character for one, and after watching, it's been a Marvel's had some time to perfect what they're doing, but it's been banger after banger for a long time of really competently well-made Marvel movies. And then here comes this fucking too dark, weird humor, just kind of typical fucking, I mean, is there a giant blue light that shoots off into the sky from the top of a building in this movie? Because I feel like there is. It's that kind of fucking movie.
Yeah, I mean, it does, and they have the rocket ship that goes up that doesn't go, but yeah, I can see that happening.
It's just that. I don't know. It just didn't have It just didn't do it for me. It felt like a
pissed you
fucking
off.
it felt like a Sony Marvel movie, and which is a misfire. Unless it's the Spider-Man movies, it's a misfire.
And that's the other thing. There's no Spider-Man doesn't exist so far at all.
Right. Your character looks like Spider-Man with no explanation for that. Stupid.
So
yeah.
Speaking of Venom, I mean, like Tom Hardy is heading into like Jared Butler territory. Like what happened? Like he is like just. What is going on with his choices these days? Like he did like the mumble thing for a while where he just like comes in, he's like blah, 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 blah. Now he's just out of control. He's like
Capone was 2020. Capone was 2020, and that was all mumbles.
I'm sorry, man, but that's a great talent that is just this horse shit. I couldn't give a fuck about Venom 2. Like Woody Harrelson, just do something else. I like Carnage back in the day, but this looks like dog shit.
Even with Andy Serkis directing, I'm like, I'm just not fucking interested, man. I couldn't be less interested. I'll watch it when it comes out. But
Eddie Brock is a kid, a photographer at the Daily Bugle, if I'm not mistaken, along with Peter Parker. Like, what? Am I missing something here?
What it feels
he
like
gets fired at the arch rival in the comics, doesn't he, or whatever? If
right.
You're gonna get specific.
What it felt like to me is like they had the rights to make the movie. They're like, we better hurry up and make this movie before someone else makes the movie. We lose the rights. Like that fucking shitty Captain America movie from the 70s or the shitty Fantastic Four movie. It's like, who cares? Just churn out any old crap. People will like it because they like Marvel, and and it made like $800 million or something insane like that. It was nuts. And
it did.
Plenty of people love it. So power to them. I hope they enjoy it. It's just not for me.
Luke says Venom is the best thing in the Marvel universe next to Ragnarok. Am I making too many comments?
Yes.
No, you're welcome. Yes. Sorry, you are. But he also says Serkis can't direct, unfortunately.
What else did he direct?
Well, he directed the Jungle Book Origins film.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, I
didn't catch that one. Kind of not checking in with all the many Disney movies they just remake in almost
the
live
actions. Yeah, I didn't see the Aladdin. I couldn't give a shit. He is going to be Alfred Pennyworth though in the Batman. That's cool.
Yeah, he is.
That's true.
So he's a good actor.
Good. He's great. He's great. No complaints.
But this is it. People are getting pissed about Venom, or at least it's a critic opinion. Ghost Hand, good to see you. Venom's greatest virtue was the banter between Venom and Eddie. Tom Hardy did the best he could with that script.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Tom Hardy did okay. I mean, he still put on like a weird voice that just didn't make sense to me. Like, who talks like this? But but like, I mean, yeah, he's still a good actor. But the script was crap. I mean, it was a crap movie. I mean, again, like if those that like it, power to you. Enjoy the sordid come down of fucking shitty Spider-Man movies like that Mrs. Spider-Web movie, whatever the fuck. They're making all kinds of shit. So enjoy.
Oh man, that is a bummer. And the more I thought about it, because I got a little bit excited because I liked seeing Venom on screen. It's a cool fucking character. So
they do it right.
Right. But even like getting a tidbits, I was like, I got excited at certain parts and it caught me in. But then the more I looked at it, I'm like, why is Michelle Williams in this movie? First off, I don't know.
Unbelievable.
There it is.
I couldn't believe it. I thought I did a triple take when they started the movie and they give him the coffee that morning. Is that a doppelganger? Is that Michelle Williams? It really was.
It is.
Just wasted.
Money.
And then you're wasting Woody Harrelson as Carnage, which is, Carnage and Venom. I used to love Carnage and Venom when I was a kid. Like that was one of the. I used to play the video game and I was really into that. It was a great
Carnage.
Yes, doppelganger coming in. I mean, there's a lot of cool shit that could go down, and it's not. The more you talk about it, Travis, I see your point, and I think I understand now why.
I mean, seeing Venom on screen is cool. Like, it's going to be cool. It's inherently cool because it's fucking Venom, and you're looking at Venom, and that's cool. But like, if everything else happening around it, is not cool, then you end up with Ghost Rider: Spirit of Vengeance.
Oh shit! That is Welcome to Hell.
One of these movies that like. You're right. It's so dark, and it's like you can tell like the actors showed up for like a month, and then the rest was just made in the computer, and they're just making it around like a few scenes that actual people did. I can't handle it anymore. And
mispronouncing symbiote the whole time. Symbiote. The whole fucking movie. Did you not have a single person that read it or like watched any of this shit before? It could be like. It's symbiote.
You're fired. Get out of here.
You're doing it wrong.
Script supervisor. We need a script supervisor on this fucking thing. You're right. That was a big issue too, man. And we'll close it out with this. Ghost Hand says Tom Hardy is contractually obligated to be unintelligible in every movie he's in. Well, I didn't know about that contract, but I wouldn't be surprised at all. Well, there it is. Wow, Venom. Interesting. Venom 2 comes out in the fall, so hey, enjoy it. Woody Harrelson's a great actor. So is Tom Hardy, but
I mean, I'll watch it.
Hopefully on a
not
streaming
in theaters.
service, we don't have to pay for it. Yeah.
Not in theaters. I can wait for that. I can wait for Morbius. I can wait for all that shit. Anything that's outside of MCU, I can fucking wait.
Oh, okay, wonderful. Well, guys, I forgot to mention, but we have 2 emails this week. 2 emails from Chad and another dude. So let's get to these real quick, and then we'll get into Blow. Hello, Cinema 9. This is from Chad. Just saw an article saying the movie A Knight's Tale still holds up. Disregarding the blatant ripoff of Cinema 9 Does It Hold Up shtick. Thank you, Chad. The thing is this. A Knight's Tale is trash. It always has been trash. It's been trash since the day it was released. My question is this. How do you answer the question, does it hold up when it comes to a movie that you hated in the first place? When I walked out of the theater after seeing A Knight's Tale, I didn't say, that movie didn't hold up. I said, that movie was a train wreck. Certainly the question of holding up somehow means more than just not liking it. I'd sure like your thoughts. P.S. Does Rufus Sewell make anyone else feel uncomfortable?
Very creepy dude.
He was good in The Father.
I thought 2 things when I walked out of the theater in 2001 with Chad Gibbons seeing A Knight's Tale. 1, Shannon Sussman's the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my entire fucking life. 2, this is the worst movie I've ever seen in my entire life. In fact, for many years after that.
Are you talking about the right movie? Am I crazy real quick here?
Heath Ledger, like jousting picture.
Oh, fuck. Okay, go
That's
ahead.
A Knight's Tale, right?
Yeah.
I was thinking about Sean Connery and Richard.
That's
talking about
that's first night.
Oh, shit! That's what I did.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Please
I've
go
never
ahead.
seen either one, so
this was the bar. Like the
cares?
bar was set here for worst movie of all time until I watched The Saint recently. So, my opinion, this is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my entire life, and the most egregious usage of David Bowie's music to accompany a shitty film in recent memory.
Oh no, they did an anachronistic thing there. That's so dumb. Well, sometimes it works, but I don't think that works with King Arthur's bullshit. But Travis, you've discussed this many times. What it means to hold up is not necessarily what you might think.
I mean, yeah, it's going to be different when it comes to a movie that never held up for you in the first place. You know, that's then it couldn't possibly hold up. So I mean, then you can only say like, well, you know, this still doesn't do it for me. You know, even if it's a classic, you know, like A Knight's Tale is a classic to a lot of people. You know, there was people of a certain age that hit them in the right spot, and they love it. I never watched it. I just remember that was the problem I had. I mean, in the previews, I remember being like, what the fuck is this music? Is this a comedy? And I was just like, nah, not for me. Nah, I've never seen it.
I never saw it either. So yeah, clearly not as
Not
powerful on the generation as maybe they had hoped. So
I love this question because you're right. We talk about that quite a bit. For me, a good example of this whole conversation is Dead Poets Society. Because before we did the episode, if you were to tell me that movie, I'd be like, oh, of course, it fucking doesn't hold up. That movie's cheesy bullshit. I loved it when we did it for the episode. So while I would have said, yeah, it never held up in the first place, when we rewatched it, I was able to say it absolutely holds up. I love this movie. So, I mean, it's mercurial, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think I've had that experience where I didn't care for the movie, then came around on it later yet.
Yeah, exactly.
But if that does happen, I'll let you guys know.
And that may have happened. I'll have to go back and think about it. But when I think about this, it's simple. Does it hold up? I kind of think about what's going on in society, too. Not just is it a good movie or not either. I do. I think about the social mores of the day. What was going on then? What's going on now? Yeah, there's some things are easy to call out. Like, that doesn't hold up. Joe Dirt doesn't hold up. It was easy to kind of figure that out. It brought pleasure, and it did have some funny moments, sure. And in a certain time and place, people laughed uproariously, which I did. I'm there. So
Def Leppard sucks.
Exactly. So that's all I think about it, Chad. It's always a fun question. It's always evolving on the show, as we like to say. But let me get to the other email real quick so we can move on. And it's from Aaron, our good pal Aaron, Chudpud. Chudpud says, hey, guys, how many DVDs do you still own? Blu-rays and HD DVDs excluded. Wow. Okay, well, Blu-rays are DVDs, I feel like, but all right, we'll play along. I still have about 300. Wow, I've been to your house. I've lived in your house. I know how many DVDs you have. I even bought The Abyss last year because it wasn't available to stream anywhere. Guess what? Now it is streaming.
No.
Yeah. DVDs, anybody?
Yeah, I still have them. They're good for collecting dust and letting people that don't come over to my house see that I like movies. I guess like they just kind of sit there and like, yep, on display. Don't currently have I have a DVD player. There's no cord for it. I couldn't watch any of them if I wanted to. But they exist. I've actually really liked to start getting more into buying some more physical media, but like I just don't really have I don't have a good enough TV for it. But maybe when I step up in life and get a new TV, which sometime this year I will, maybe I'll start getting, Blu-rays and that kind of shit. Maybe. I don't know.
You don't forget you're talking to a podcast co-host here that will own the DVD for our movie of the week and yet rent it for $4 just so he can be in the other room and not have to plug in the DVD player. I still own about 200-300 myself for collecting dust once every few years. Usually when I move, I'll weed through them and be like, there's no way I'm ever gonna watch this again. Yeah. But I still got a tight collection.
When I lived at Aaron's house, it's all out there in the open. You don't have to go digging for it. At least it used to be. All the shelves are around the house, really well organized. And I would pull out the DVDs and watch them. I really would. Because if there was a Marvel, particularly Marvel movies, I don't think I actually saw that one, or I haven't seen that one in a while, and I'd pop those in. That was very helpful. So I find your collection to be quite useful, Aaron. Thank you for that. But as I said, I literally have 5 DVDs over here on a shelf. That's all I got. And I only knew one I had to the collection was courtesy of you, thank you, with First Reformed. So.
Yeah. I will say this, that there's been a couple of cases where I had to rent a movie, usually for the show, and it's like I could rent it for $4 or I could buy the digital copy for $8. And I'm like, fuck, no, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying that digital copy. I don't own it. Amazon or whoever the fuck, they own it. Whenever they want to make it no longer stream there, it just vanishes from their library and I no longer have access to it. So I do like the idea of having actual physical media for you do own it. You can, so long as you have electricity and all of the required components, you can watch the goddamn movie and have yourself a time. So I do like that.
That's very true. Fuck the big people. Those big DVDs not going to get the best of us. I'll tell you that right now.
Big VHS.
And the last part of this is, guys, The Abyss isn't very good. Are you interested in buying my DVD copy of The Abyss? Are there any DVDs I should absolutely hold on to? You better not say The Abyss either. What DVDs are you guys holding on to for life? I bet one of you needs a copy of The Abyss. So how many DVDs do you guys still have?
So
we covered some of that, but
Aaron, if you bring your copy of The Abyss to a future feast, I'll give you $10 for it. I'm a fan of the film. I love its use of early Industrial Light and Magic special effects that were unheard of in 1989. I love Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio so much. I'll own any movie she's ever starred in. I think the picture is underrated, to be honest with you. I'll give you $10 for it.
Fuck me running.
Friend of the show, Steve Laskowski, recently gave me a DVD copy of Roadhouse. I will keep that until the day I die.
Me too.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Steve.
Thank you, Floyd.
Those are the last 2 movies First Reformed in Roadhouse that have been added to my collection.
And I've got a couple other random DVD. I have a Twilight Singers. I'm going to talk about Greg Dooley again on the show later, so might as well get it started now. I got Twilight Singers live DVD. I'm never going to get rid of. I got Tom Waits. Not short change. I can't remember one big time. Yeah, I got Big Time. I got a couple of stuff like that's kind of hard to find other than on DVD. So those things in particular, I'm happy to hold on to.
Big Time is on DVD. There's a VHS for $300 on eBay.
That's why I hold on to it so tightly. Yeah.
Okay, Luke.
Luke says Citizen Dildo. Yeah, we're all keeping our Vanilla Sky copies cherished. Very close to the chest.
I let mine go.
Oh, no.
I let mine
Fuck
go.
me running.
Oh my gosh, I can't live with that. Well, thanks for emailing the show, cinema9pod@protonmail.com. We encourage you not to email us, but if you have to, yes, cinema9pod@protonmail.com. Thank you so much. All right, we're going to get into Blow here in just a moment. Don't forget to follow the show on all your
Solid
favorite...
hour in.
Yeah, well, hey, we've had a lot going on. We've had a lot of connection. Good job, everybody. People are interested in the show, and they're talking about movies, and fucking hey, that's great. That's why we do this show. So thank you, guys. We do appreciate your emails and the live comments. I'm going to be on a show after this show. I just want to mention real quick. It's called Pop Goes... Shit!
What the fuck is Mike talking about?
Pop Goes Culture? Pop Goes Your World. Pop Goes Your World. I'm such an idiot. I'm sorry, Chris and Derek. Pop Goes Your World. It's about a guy who is in the Generation X who's older and his friend who's a millennial, and they meet in the middle because some don't understand each other's pop culture, and they talk about movies and music, and it's fantastic. So I'm going to promote our show, of course, and talk about movies, and it's going to be a great time. So
I'm gonna have to listen to that. I'm curious to hear how many Gong Show references that are explained patiently to Chris.
Yeah. Remember the Mary Tyler Moore Show episode where
they didn't go that far back. Nobody said
Smokey
70s.
and the Bandit was really, really great. Am I doing a boomer? Sorry to the guy who maybe I'm doing a boomer.
Pop Goes Your World.
Asshole or nice guy?
Yeah. Pop Goes Your World. Check it out. It's a podcast, Pop Goes Your World. Chris is a really nice guy. He's Canadian, so he's obviously a sweet man. And I really enjoyed talking to him. So before we even did the podcast, so he's a good person, it seems like. And we're doing top 5 80s rock songs. I don't know how that's going to go because that's weird because I don't want to pick like glam metal because rock is a broad word, right? So I think I can still fit in like David Bowie and shit like that, right?
Of course.
Are you doing this like unironically so you could totally toss in like Here I Go Again and like be totally cool with being serious?
That's the thing. I mean, yeah, I could be stupid as fuck, or I'm actually interested in like trying to maybe kind of give an honest, genuine top 5. But you're right, I could go that route. So we'll see. Either way, it's going to be a lot of fun. So check out Pop Goes Your World. All right. Pop Goes Blow, 2001 film directed by Ted, not Jonathan, Ted Demme, and starring Johnny Depp, Ray Liotta, Penelope Cruz, wow, Rachel Griffiths in a really annoying role, which kind of is not her fault. We'll talk about that, I'm sure.
You know, I remember a lifetime ago. I was about 3.5 feet tall, weighing all of 60 pounds, but every inch of sun. Those Saturday mornings going to work with my dad, and we'd climb into that big green truck. I thought that truck was the biggest truck in the universe, Pop. I remember how important the job we did was. If it weren't for us, people would freeze to death. I thought you were the strongest man in the world. Remember those home movies when Mom would dress up like Loretta Young? Ice creams, football games, Wayne the tuna. The day I left for California only to come home with the FBI chasing me. That FBI agent Trout, and he had to get on his knees to put my boots on, you said.
That's where you belong, you son of a bitch. We're not Georgie's boots.
That was good one time. That was really something. You remember that? And that time you told me the money wasn't real? Well, old man, I'm 42 years old, and I finally realized what you were trying to tell me so many years ago. I finally understand. You're the best, Dad. I just wish I could have done more for you. Wish we had more time. Anyway. May the wind always be at your back, and the sun always upon your face, and the winds of destiny to carry you aloft to dance with the stars.
Eric, you chose this film. Take us back to 2001. Man, I'm really trying to put myself in the shoes of that era with this movie. It was a big deal.
You know, Mike, I cannot believe the two coincidences. It didn't add up to me until I turned on the film until this is the 20-year anniversary of Blow. So I think enough time has gone by to take a nice fresh look at it. We've got the passing of its central character, George Young, last fucking like 2 weeks ago, unbeknownst to me. So yeah, I was interested. It just kind of popped in my brain like, Christ, I saw this twice in movie theaters and I haven't thought about it, seen it since. It's literally one of the DVDs that I looked at and I was like, yeah, I don't know if I'm ever going to watch this again on a move and donate it. So, it's just one of those things. Johnny Depp on top of the world. And this is, I got to tell you, when you're like 20, 21 in 2001, like any movie that's doing this vibe is just so cool. This music supervised soundtrack is on fire. If you're me, you're buying into it. So I bought into it, but it's been 20 years. So I'm excited to talk.
Travis, you saw us in the theater? No.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw it in the theaters. So like I was a Ted Demme fan. Like, I mean, like I knew his work, and like this was the one that was like that in my thinking, like this tips him over into the big time. I already really like stuff like Monument Avenue and The Ref, and I really liked Life too. So Life, he did that with Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence.
Beautiful Girls.
No, that was him, and Beautiful Girls.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I liked Life, man. I watched Life recently, and I thought it held up pretty good.
I watched it for the first time a couple months ago, and it was funny. I can laugh.
Yeah, it's not a bad movie at all. So as a fan, yeah, I was like, and even if I didn't like Ted Demme, like it was clearly like a big deal when it came out. Johnny Depp, of course, like so I watched it, and like everybody, I was all into it, and it was a big hit. It was the poster was everywhere. And then I watched it quite a few times and then didn't watch it, 20, I don't know, 18 years or 19 years, something like that.
Wow.
Oh, I don't know if that's allowed, but it did happen, so we'll accept it. I definitely saw the movie on DVD. I did not catch it in the theater, but when it hit DVDs, it was a hot topic. Everybody was talking about it. It had already had a lot of buzz because of the theater run itself, which I think it was pretty successful, wasn't it, in the theater?
Yeah.
I just saw it on the DVD and I started watching it over and over again. It became a repeat reviewing. I'd watch it all the time in late 2001, 2002.
The Dungeon, it was just always on in the background every day.
Yeah, surprisingly, Henry Fool took off more than Blow in 2002 at the dump, which is strange. You feel like Blow would have fit in a lot more than Henry Fool.
I'd like to claim that personally and be like, that was me. I was always just going to rewind. We're gonna watch that again.
Henry Fool, Rounders, Ravenous, yada yada yada, again and again. So I got no beefs with that at all. But yeah, DVD was how I found the movie. But as far as how people view this film. IMDb rating, anybody? I didn't look it up yet, so I'll take a chance.
I believe I saw it, so you guys can guess. I know it. I'm pretty sure I know it.
This is getting trickier for me because you have to rent a lot of these, and when I go to rent it, the score is right there. So I try to avert it, but I'm getting used to seeing it so much more often.
It's not your fault.
It's not your fault.
Oh, you know it too?
Yeah.
I'll say it's a 7.2.
Close. 7.6.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
That is fucking way up there.
Whoa. I'm genuinely kind of surprised by that.
It's a beloved film.
What does that mean? Like, it's a beloved film.
People beloved it.
Ooh, more beloved.
Well, I'll tell you what, when it comes to the critics on Rotten Tomatoes, which is the be-all, end-all, boy, critics not pleased. Splat! 55%. Audience score 87. This is a big ass disparity in this film.
Big disparity.
I'm quite surprised, to be honest with you. I just didn't think critics would be that pissed about it, but maybe it is more formulaic than I realized. We'll talk about that more.
It's another one of those things. Remember we talked about rules of attraction where critics loved it, but for some reason the audience score wasn't there. Kids, like people our age, adored this. The critics fucking thought it was like been there, done that, like trash. And Blow, I mean.
Oh,
right. Oh, Blow. Yes, that makes sense. As far as the critics, people say that I don't know. I'm not seeing Destin Thompson yet. I'm looking for him, and we will continue to find him. We never give up on Destin's efforts here on the show. But
breaks my heart.
I know it
my
does.
Fucking heart.
I know it does. It's not fair. It's not right. And I wish that we could get Destin Thompson on the show just once. It'd be amazing. If you ever want to be in the show, Destin, and you're familiar with our work, please.
Yeah. Standing invitation.
Yes, absolutely. 24/7. Well, Peter Howell of the Toronto Star says, Blow can't sustain the high. Yeah. That's funny, isn't it? Is that hilarious?
Funny. That's funny.
Mike Clark, US Today says, it's one of the few major releases so far this year that is worth a grown-up's time.
That is so odd. Worth a grown-up's time.
It's been a shit year for movies. He probably just got out of seeing Joe Dirt. Which basically had the same soundtrack, by the way.
What do us adults have to fucking do? We can't sit down and watch Blow? Jesus, man.
Terry Lawson, Detroit Free Press, ambitious but repetitive. Oh, Roger Ebert, take away the drugs, and this is the story of a boring life in wholesale.
What? God damn, bless you, Roger.
That is fantastic.
Wow.
And there he is, Destin Thompson, Washington Post.
Right.
Makes you wonder just a little what it was about Blow that made it a go project.
Like, how did this get made? He's basically asking how this got made, right?
He basically is. That's how I interpret it. So.
Yeah. What is your message? Who is your audience? And what do you expect from this story? From critics, audience, everything? Destin, God bless you.
Oh, Eric's tilting his hand.
It's repetitive. I mean, just because that's the drug life, or could it have been?
In terms of cinema, this story is repetitive in that we've seen it many times before, but it's Newtonian. It's like what goes up must come down. We've seen this a million times before. I'm not sure this is told in a different way than we've seen. It wouldn't be till later on when we saw movies that told this story, but it wasn't about the whole drug running thing, Wolf of Wall Street and The Mule, for instance. But yeah, I mean, ups, downs, strikes, gutters, man.
Beautiful sentiment. So I'm asking though when it came out though, not 20 years after. I mean, I know we're going to say, does it hold up or not? But at the time, Fear and Loathing came out a couple years before this. And I thought if it's a drug movie or it's about drugs at all, that movie is way better than this film in terms of having things to say and the way it's structured and the dialogue itself, the comedy. It's funny, and then it's also like suddenly serious and bizarro all at once. And this movie's like I feel like you would call this a procedural, Eric. I really do.
One of the reviewers said that the high doesn't last long. I paused it when the high stopped because I ended up watching this twice last week because you know me, like I'm like spaced out. It's like 3 a.m. I'm feeding my daughter. I'm not even paying attention. So I had to watch it again to be sure of my points. And I paused it after 27 minutes after the whole like fun and games is over. He gets arrested in Chicago in 72. The rest of the movie is pretty much low. So it's only barely even that first act that's the high. And in a movie about like drug running, when you got the success, the glitz, the glamour, I don't know if that small of a chunk can sustain the mire that follows it.
I do believe that's part of the point of the film, though, right? Is that drugs don't pay, crime doesn't pay, that this is one of the most successful drug smugglers in world history. And the low came, the high ended early and it was all low after that. It was all downhill from that. There's a documentary that will be coming out about him soon. I believe that it's called George Young, something like Famous Without the Fortune, which like that about sums. I mean, the guy clearly had a shit life for being a famous drug dealer.
He did. Yeah. Tough break on that. Sorry, George, but he did live a long life. So congratulations, George Young. There he is again. Look at him.
78. I mean, I think 76, something like that, which is not that long, but longer than probably lots of guys that at one point are doing, was it like 90 grams of cocaine he was doing a day or something?
Not bad. Nice little Saturday. Is this a classic case of all style, little substance here? Because this movie is quite stylized, whether it's a ripoff or just it's been there, done that before. Like you said, the soundtrack was a big deal at the time. It brought back some of these classic rock songs like, oh, Black Betty, man, that was a big deal. And that Rolling Stone song that it starts
back.
with.
I mean, had they really, I don't know if had they really.
It put them to another generation is what I mean. It did in a sense.
Okay.
You could disagree. That's fine.
I just don't know that. I just feel like I've seen. It's hard to say. I've seen so many fucking movies that take place in this era that have the same fucking song. Oh, that smell again. Okay, must be a bad part of the character's time if they're playing that smell. He's having a bad time now. Here's the Skinner.